Welcome to the You're Kidding podcast.
Welcome. This is Scott.
This is Gev. I need more enthusiasm. Come on, it's episode 6. We've been going for like 6 episodes.
Oh my god, yeah, it is. Let's go.
Let's go. Get hype.
Yeah,
I just heard the mic go. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Let's not like kill people's ears.
Let's not burst eardrums out here. We hope you are all having a great day.
Hope you're all staying safe.
Yes.
Have fun in state parks.
Yes.
Speaking of which, have you seen the missing 411 cases?
No. Did you say state parks?
Yeah, 411. Sorry, missing 411.
No.
So basically, it's like this thing. I was telling you about it earlier, but it's basically this thing. Missing 411 is people who disappear randomly in state parks, and it could be anywhere from kids to like grown adults who are professional hunters who just go randomly missing, like very randomly missing. And even the circumstances which they go missing are very weird.
Yeah.
For example, they found this one guy, professional hunter, right? Goes out into the wilderness, full gear, everything, missing. No tracks found.
Wow.
Like they cannot find where he went.
And are these real cases that are
These are real cases. You can look it up. 411, missing 411. Like,
are they actively searching for these people, or it's not?
They'll actively search for them too, and sometimes they might find them, sometimes they won't. There was this one case. Here's an example. There's this one case that the guy got found eventually, and he went hiking in Montana.
Yeah.
Right? Think about it. Sorry, he was skiing in Montana. He stopped by a lake, took off his ski gear, disappeared. His ski tracks disappeared near this lake. Reappeared 6 months later in California, in San Jose.
That is insane. And he doesn't remember anything.
No. New phone, new jacket, new pant, like everything new. Ski gear and stuff missing, like left behind in Montana.
Okay, I'm going to be the skeptic. Don't you think like these people are lying?
Well, maybe that one is, but like
that they could be, you know, there's that lying, possibility of it can exist. But if that's actually true, you know, you just like end up somewhere else 6 months later. Insane.
So like the theory behind it is it's connected to the cave system, where if you look up where people will go missing, there's an actual map that you can pull up and look up for cave missing 411.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this, but the US is like has a huge underground cave system, like connecting a bunch of state parks together.
What?
And where people go missing is exactly near these cave system entrances.
Oh.
Here, I'll pull it up for you and show you. And a lot of these cases are super popular. Like,
but why are these caves accessible to people who are like hiking or hunting?
They're just like, it's like normal caves, right? Like, because Native Americans existed before us, and like they were cave people, right? Before they became like hunter gatherers and stuff like that. They would sit in caves and do the cave drawings and stuff like that. And it's connected.
Wow.
So if you look up like missing 411,
there's some Native American mojo behind this.
So one of the conspiracy theories isn't about the Native Americans, but it's about like human trafficking.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So here, I'll just show it to you like this. So the top is the missing people. Sorry.
The cave system.
The top is the cave system. The bottom is the missing people reports near those cave systems.
So it's like it lines up to...
It legitimately lines up to this
It
stuff.
looks like it's more on the East Coast, or like towards the East Coast rather.
It is a lot near the East Coast, but it's also like... Because these places, like the cave entrances, are very sporadic compared to the rest.
That's crazy.
And then anytime someone goes missing near these state parks, like this whole like same thing comes back up. For example, there's this one missing kid. I forgot where it was, which state, but the kid went missing, and the U.S. Involved the Green Berets, which the Green Berets are like the Black Ops unit of the U.S. military, right? They involved them to look through the forest for this one random kid
to find
him, and they couldn't find him.
What?
But it's just like the conspiracy theory is like, why would the U.S. involve the top Black Ops unit of the U.S. military to find one random kid that has no relation to like any congressman or anything like that? Right. They couldn't find him. They didn't find his body. They didn't find his clothing. I think all they found was like a shoe. That was randomly placed at the top of a cliff that would be impossible for a 7-year-old to even climb up.
What?
Yeah. And one of the
it sounds, sorry to cut you off, it sounds like a scene from like Hunger Games or something. Have you seen the Hunger Games movie?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, that's literally what it sounds like, what you're saying right now. It might,
but like it's just so weird because it what's it called? It's like, oh, they put it after that a mountain lion attacked him.
Yeah.
But there's no way like an animal would be able to drag a human body up that type of a cliff because it's just not like they had to get professional hikers, professional like rock climbers to be able to climb this surface of this cliff.
Wow.
So
insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of theory. There's a lot of cool things. So one of the things is that like the U.S. military conspiracies, the U.S. military is hiding something within the forest that's doing this.
Oh, I believe that 100%.
And when these reports started coming out, I think it was Teddy Roosevelt, or one of the Roosevelts. They created the U.S. National Forest Service, and the U.S. National Forest Service is apparently hiding things that are going on.
I believe that 1,000%.
Most likely, like. I don't know.
I don't think people think there's a lot more information that's public than there actually is, if that makes sense. Like there's a lot that's hidden pretty much. I mean, there has to be, right? Yeah. But like that's what sparks conspiracy theories. Because if you reveal everything, then there isn't really going to be conspiracy theories. Have you seen those like psycho people who are so deep into conspiracy theories where they're just like so far gone, like they believe. Oh my God,
those are hilarious.
They are so adamant, like they research things so much and try to like prove whatever their point is.
Yeah,
there's some crazy people out there.
The thing about conspiracy theories, right? It's like there isn't that much evidence behind it. That's why it's a conspiracy theory.
Right.
Because if there was evidence behind it or like you could easily prove it, then it's just a fact.
Right. Exactly.
So what's some conspiracy theories you believe in?
I was thinking of like, because I believe we had an episode about conspiracy theories, right?
We did, but it was like very brief. So I'm curious.
I don't know. The only thing that comes to mind is a lot of stuff about the Illuminati and like the entertainment industry.
Illuminati. You know what I find funny about Illuminati? It's like they were created in the 1700s, right, in France.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
For the Enlightenment period during France.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So was it created out of good, like what was?
I think they were created for like research purposes for science.
Yeah.
That was at least the initial reason they were created, and to like hide scientific research from the Catholic Church, because the Catholic Church had a lot of power back in the day, right?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's why they were created. I don't.
Right, and church and science have always been clashing, sort of.
You know what? That's the interesting thing. Before that, they weren't really like a lot of unless you challenge like the church. I think fundamentally, a lot of like a lot of scientists back in the day were actually sponsored by the church. Like Galileo was definitely sponsored by the church. Like the church paid him and everything like that. So I feel like that's kind of a misconception.
I don't know that necessarily. I wasn't there with Galileo, sort of seeing
Copernicus and Galileo
sponsorships, but I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
No, I remember stuff like that. Like they were actually sponsoring these scientists. So like it's almost a misconception that they were witch hunting these scientists.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there was a period that they were, and it would have to be like probably stuff that was for the ones who are like turning atheist. Maybe those were the ones that they were doing witch hunting for, but not necessarily science, because they definitely sponsored him. And I know the church for the longest time agreed with Galileo's idea. I think of the Hellenistic approach to the solar system, where like the sun is the center, but they just didn't want to admit it.
Okay. What were we talking about before this?
The missing 411. And you mentioned something about murder mysteries.
Mysteries, yeah.
Missing 411 ties into that very easily, because there's a lot of reports where like kids go missing.
Yeah.
And it's mainly kids. And like there was actually these two that stick out. One of them is where this kid's family decides to go hunting, decides to go camping.
Yeah.
It's a dead end road. It's a dead end road in the middle of nowhere, right? And they go camping there with no service. And the kid's parents are arguing with each other, and then they go their separate ways, and they leave the kid with his grandpa.
Okay.
And the grandpa, I think, has Alzheimer's.
Oh shit.
And then they come back, and the kid's gone. Like, he's
It's not
disappeared.
funny, but like it's kind of
Yeah, and then when they turn to the grandpa and ask him what happened to the kid, the grandpa's like, I don't know.
remember.
I thought he followed you guys, and apparently the kid went after the mom.
Yeah.
and he disappeared. The mom never saw him.
This was in America?
This is in America. This was, I forgot which. I forgot which state.
I think I saw a statistic somewhere where 1% of missing persons, not just kids, just people, missing people, are actually found. 1%.
I think so. I think there's also that thing that's like after 72 hours, it significantly decreases your chance of being
To find the
found.
person, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, we should just work for the FBI or something at this point.
Find them so easily using
You-
intuition.
It's actually so much easier to apply. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was such a process. Like FBI, it's literally on whatever the federal website is.
Well, what branch of the FBI? Because I'm sure like
Right.
there's certain branches that would like be very hard to apply and get in for,
Right.
or at least like
How? Oh, I just thought of something. How many criminals do you think that work for the FBI or like the CIA that
I
are
would say
recruited?
the vast majority.
You think so? The
I
ones
would
that are recruited by the government because, or is that like
Considering like Frank Abagnale's case, I'm sure there's a lot of people like him
is that?
were recruit. Frank Abagnale.
Yeah.
Have you seen Catch Me If You Can? Was that the movie Catch Me If You Can?
sounds familiar?
It's like the one where Leonardo DiCaprio was like basically this kid growing up, and he would commit like check fraud, and he worked for the airline industry, and then he worked as a lawyer and then a doctor, and he took the bar exam. I don't know if
Okay.
you remember. And then
No.
like the FBI caught wind of him and started chasing him, and then he finally got arrested in France.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember
I
that?
haven't seen. It's a movie.
Yeah, Catch Me If You Can. Definitely
No.
watch it. That movie is basically about
Based
the life
on-
of Frank Abagnale.
Okay.
His parents divorced at like 14,
Uh-huh.
and then he had to choose between his mom and dad, and he chose his dad.
Okay.
Because he was more stable, or like he liked his dad more, or something like that.
Hmm.
And then he ran away during that court proceeding.
Yeah.
And when he was running away, he was working in New York as a paper boy, like for newspapers.
Yeah.
And then from there, he started committing check fraud, where he would pretend to be an airline pilot, and he learned the lingo and
shit.
stuff like that. And back in the day, it was like super easy to commit that, so he
Oh,
would
yeah,
just change
but-
a couple numbers.
Yeah.
And during those times, being a pilot was like considered like at the same level as a doctor almost.
Oh wow.
So he could walk.
Occupation wise, like salary.
Occupation, yeah,
Wow.
salary, occupation wise. So he would approach these
Just ran.
banks,
Okay.
and he would like have the Pan Am
Fraud.
Pan Am was it Pan America, Pan Am.
This sounds so familiar.
So Pan America
Yeah.
logo on his vest and the flight suit, and he would go to them and be like, "Oh, I'm here from Pan America. Here's my check."
Yeah.
And they would cash like $2,000 right on the spot, like no problem.
That's insane. Speaking, I just thought
So
of this
yeah,
because you
going
said
back to that
Yeah.
thing, that's a case where after he was caught, the FBI actually hired him to help them develop their check fraud system, where it would
wow.
identify like fraudulent
fraudulent
checks,
checks.
right?
Yeah.
And he helped like catch a lot of criminals and put them behind bars.
Oh shit.
Because he was so good at check fraud that he helped them with that.
So there's a lot. There's a lot of people who were caught for whatever crime working for sure for the FBI, the CIA, whatever.
Yeah, it definitely was that.
Any
But it's like super
intelligence.
interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of checks, or it was easy. You said it was easier back in the day. This is such a tangent. I was having a conversation with coworkers, and they're obviously much old. There's a lot of them that are much older in age, right? They were talking about how back in the day, credit cards used to have, there was no machine, obviously, right? So it was like this manual way of, swiping something to actually get the print of the numbers on like a paper, and then they would call the banks later on and actually take out the funds to make sure
So
it was,
tedious.
and they're explaining this, and I was like, I don't know what that is. And so there's like this running joke at work that I'm the baby or whatever, but there's like a few of us that are in our 20s and stuff working there, and that's just kind of like a back and forth banter. Like I'll go up to one of my coworkers and I'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't have time to fax you that document." And he's like, "You're being such a smart ass."
Oh my God.
But it just made me think of that, how things were done back in the day. So much more different now, huh? With technology and everything.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Crazy.
Speaking of that, have you seen AT&T's 1990 commercial on what the future would be like?
No.
Dude, it is insane.
Is it like predicting it?
Yeah, it's like predicting what the future would look like and what AT&T would bring you.
Oh shit.
And they had everything. This is 1990, by the way. They had everything from like tablets that people would use
Oh,
to
no
like
way.
someone like, and they're like going off that fax thing. Like it goes like, imagine being able to send a fax wirelessly while you're on the beach sipping like a martini. And it's this guy in Hawaii, like on a beach with a tablet that
Yeah.
has this huge antenna and him like sending an email.
Oh, shit. Imagine it
Yeah.
happens now. We have that now.
You could do that like literally on your iPad. Or
Yeah.
like it goes, imagine
crazy.
surfing the World Wide Web for any type of information and being able to access it on the spot. And
Whoever-
aside from the fact that they called it the World Wide Web, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what www means.
Yeah.
It's just funny because now like you literally have access to any type of
Oh,
information you want.
this, the phones, whatever, anything.
Yeah. And it's
Insane.
like all brought to you by AT&T.
Bro.
Even the navigation, like the navigation system still doesn't exist where it's like a 3D mapping of the town and it like guides you.
What do you mean 3D mapping?
Like they mapped the city three dimensionally, so like it would give you like your car where
Yeah.
it's just coming out, where it would give it a visual representation of the mapping system.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you noticed the cars in, I think they do it always in January, the cars that have cameras all over? Is that Google or who is they take images of all the streets and
I
everything?
think that's Google Streets.
Right?
It's their like Google Streets
But
project.
the car
where they-
didn't look like a Google, like it didn't say Google car. I
I
guess
don't
whatever.
think they ever do.
But it was so funny. So I saw this guy. So it was this like old man driving it, and I think he had someone who was training next to him. And I stopped next to that car at a red light, and there's like the cameras are spinning and on the top and on the sides, whatever. And I just turn around and do like a peace sign. And the guy driving looks at me like, "Oh, this like I've seen enough of this." Just over it. He just didn't like his job for
Have
sure.
you seen the one with the camel? They apparently mapped the desert with a camel.
What do you mean a camel?
Yeah, they like
Huh?
they live street viewed the entire African desert with a camel. Like if you go to
Oh,
the
shit.
desert and you hit street view, you can street view it, and like one of them is the shadow of a camel wearing that.
That camera? No way. Is that real? Like Google
Yeah,
Maps?
you could look it up right now.
I'm dead. That's so
It's
funny.
hilarious.
Of course, it would be a camel just in the middle of the desert. Because what car is going to go through that terrain and whatever?
I'm sure there's cars that could do that. It's pretty easy, but like it's just funny that they actually put a camel.
Camel to do the work for them. Honestly, just replace cars with camels.
It'd be so fun.
Dude, camels are weird as hell.
Can you imagine being spit on though? Because
That's where I was going. Camels are the weirdest animals. First of all, like why are they built like that? Why I know the reason
humps?
they have humps.
yeah.
It collects water or something.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're just are they a type of horse? Like what type? They're the species. Like what?
I have no idea. I know they're load bearing animals, so like you can put them to work.
Right. But
haven't researched
I'm trying to understand. Like, did they? I don't know. It's. I was gonna say.
It's like
did
was
they
it the
evolve
llama?
from dinosaurs?
No, I mean they're mammals. So they evolved from a mammal
Right,
species.
right.
But what's it called? It reminds me of is it the llama or the
Llama? Oh my god, llamas.
is it llama or the one that's
Alpaca.
Alpaca.
Alpacas.
Yes. In Peru, right, where they climb those mountains. I guess you could.
Found this on the web.
Oh, I guess Siri's gonna help us out right now.
Oh my god.
Siri, where do alpacas climb rocks?
Oh my god. No, it's definitely Peru. But like it was through that, right? Like you can consider the alpacas the like South American versions of the camel.
Camel, yeah.
Because they both
Alpacas.
spit and they almost look exactly the same.
Why do they spit?
It's a defense
Are
mechanism.
are giraffes like that too?
Yeah, giraffe spit too.
I think all of those animals have to have something in common.
Bro, it's so funny.
Just based on, yeah.
Did you know, like, speaking of those, like, and horses, zebras, you know what differentiates them from horses? You can't actually put saddles on zebras
Why?
because their backs aren't strong enough to support it. Like a horse's back, it's strong enough. Like over a period of like evolution, we've basically bred them to be strong enough to support the
Carry,
back. Carry
people
someone.
and like goods and stuff.
But zebras can't do it,
Did not know that.
and they will actually bite and kick you. Like horses
What?
won't, but zebras will bite you and kick you if you try to domesticate them.
Okay, are zebras black with white stripes or white with black stripes? This is very important. I need to know right now. Is there an
They're-
Do you know?
I think they're black with white stripes.
Are you sure?
I'm trying to think of a fowl.
Of a what?
A fowl?
Oh.
Like the baby zebras.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're just black and white, but like how their skin is, I think it's black with like white stripes. I don't remember.
Weird.
I could Google it.
I love how we just the transitions from we started talking about what was it?
Mystic
The 411.
411.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I just Googled and like the fourth one is Zebra 411.
What? Zebras going missing? Zebra murder mystery case. New headline. Where did the zebras go?
I have no idea what this is. It's a label maker. A Zebra 411 is a label
Oh, it's a brand. You're searching a brand, buddy. That's
see.
funny. Where was I going with this? Zebras. What do you
Yeah, I was right. Zebras are black with,
with
white stripes.
Okay.
I was trying to like remember, but yeah, that's the case. It's
Do zebras spit?
I don't remember.
Because I don't think. Okay, you know the weirdest animals ever. Let's go. What do you think is the weirdest animal? You've talked about what animal you hate.
Okay.
That is like useless
Pandas.
to you. Pandas. Right. Let's not have a
No, it's not gonna be a panda. The weirdest animal
the
ever.
weirdest animal.
A platypus.
Why?
Why?
We just we had some sound effects on the sidelines.
Oh my
we
God.
have
Perry the
Perry the
platypus.
platypus. We have one of our friends sitting there
Just yell
viewing
that.
this podcast live. That was funny. Platypus.
No,
Why?
platypus. Okay.
Platypi?
No, platypi? No, platypus.
Platypuses? What is the plural of platypus?
I'm pretty sure a platypus would be a plural.
Got it. Never mind.
itself.
Okay, so why? What is the reason? 'Cause
Okay, they're a mammal that lays eggs.
eggs. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they
Weird.
secrete venom. They are venomous.
What?
Yeah.
Are they reptiles?
No, they're mammals.
Then how do they secrete venom and lay eggs?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they have venom.
That's like
You can be allergic to platypus milk. Yeah, they do produce milk.
platypus milk. Sorry. Who is going around selling platypus milk?
I don't know, but you can be
Someone
allergic
does.
to it. They are venomous.
I'm dead.
They're the weirdest creature on this
Planet
planet.
Earth.
Because, like,
What is their point?
they
What is
have
the
a
point?
beaver tail. They have a
Yeah.
duck bill. They
Right.
they lay eggs, right?
Oh
but
my-
they're a mammal, so I guess they're marsupial, right?
Marsupial.
Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yeah. Like
they're
kangaroos
marsupial.
and yeah.
Yeah, but they lay eggs.
Right. Weird.
They're
Do you
just a-
do you sell platypus milk just for to clear the air? No.
Sadly, I don't have Perry the platypus.
Just as a pet. Just lives with you.
Yeah, but they're just the
That's
weirdest.
a good one. That was a good answer for weirdest animal.
Because what else? What would you consider? The
I would
weirdest?
say ostriches.
ostriches.
Weird. Why do they stick their heads in the ground?
I mean, I know it's because they're afraid, so they just stick it in the ground because they're scared.
And then I don't know. They're just weird to me.
Like,
Super tall, like the feathers.
you
I don't
could
know.
ride them.
You can. You can. Have you ridden?
No, I've never
rode
been
an
in a
os-
place
No?
where I can ride an ostrich.
Okay, I
But
think
I know they
that's
have ostrich races.
that's next on the list. Ostrich racing with all of the group. We're gonna take them
The 10
and
of us, let's go to Africa and go
ostrich racing. Done.
That'd be hilarious.
It's
Can
incredible.
you imagine?
Yeah. And then later on, we could go have some platypus milk. Something.
No, but
That's hilarious.
yeah, I mean, I guess ostriches, but I wouldn't consider them the weirdest.
I think weird to me. Yours was good. Yours was a good like general weird,
Just
just
general
based on
weird?
facts. Because you're right. They lay eggs and they're mammals. But
Yeah, they're mammals. They lay eggs. They're just really weird, especially with everything that they consist of.
yeah. Are platypus endangered species?
I'm not sure.
I wonder. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if platypuses are endangered species. I think they're pretty low in count, though.
Got it.
I'm not sure. I guess the next weirdest one would be that like fish that lurks in the deep sea that like has that eye.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the light. That would be then my next choice.
There's
but-
so many like species and animals just not discovered.
Yeah,
not
I know.
yet discovered, huh? It's crazy. But anyway, platypus milk. I can't get over that. That was good. Well, I guess that was today's episode.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you for joining us.
This is Gev.
This is Gop.
We're signing out.
Definitely. Peace.
Peace.